What's good? Oh man, I'm super happy to be back. Welcome. Second installment, Needle to the Groove. It's been some months. I had to work some stuff out. Me and G had to refine some stuff. I think we got it now. So I'm not gonna take up too much time, man. With me today on her maiden voyage. Again, it's only the second episode. So first guest, my homie. Shout out Tiffany Meeks. G, bring her in.
What's up? What's up?
What's up,
What's up?
Tiff?
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Happy
How
to
you
be
feel?
here. Happy to be here.
So I just wanted to,
Ah,
yeah, how you feel? Tell me.
since exactly since removed from uh that heartbreaking loss, I'm feeling pretty good.
Right.
Feeling
So
pretty good.
why was it heartbreaking to you? Why did it break your heart? Because I
Uh,
got a couple of reasons why I feel like it broke my heart.
um, as I said before, if
Mm,
somebody else would have made one extra shot during the game,
man,
we would
and you
we be watching us play the Warriors.
and you talk about in one game,
In one
spread that
game. I'm
over,
just talking about one. That's it. I
spread
just
that
needed
over
one person to make a shot. Um, I also think though, I and I don't know if a lot of people agree with this, but it's the saying when people show you who they are, believe them. I
okay,
think what needed to happen with the cast of characters, we needed to see who everyone was.
right.
Um, especially, heading into next year. Jimmy a year older, Kyle a year older. If PJ comes back, PJ's a
A
year
year
older.
older.
So
Yeah.
all those surrounding pieces, I think we needed to see who they were. And honestly, if they were going to be a part of the movement going forward.
I think some of that is also like the guys who have been here kind of needing to see who they were
Mhm.
in different moments than they've been in, right? A lot of them, everyone wasn't here for the bubble. Tyler, had his breakout, whatever. But like, yeah, sure, I saw who you were. I think I need to see a bit more of who you told me that you were before I start to believe you. You got to make me believe you, right? Like, you
Right.
can't just tell me to believe it. You got to show
Right.
me that it's there, and then I can go to it consistently, man. I think I agree. Like I was so heartbroken. I've been telling people in the hoopsters space. I've been telling as many people as will hear me. Like I think Miami played they I don't know if they played good games all 7 games, but they shot so poorly
Mhm.
that it's been exacerbated for me by this conversation kind of about Boston, like the best defense we've ever seen. And
Right.
I'm not saying that they are or not, but like where do we pull that from?
Right.
Like Boston played, Golden State twice this season. They don't see that level of kind of offensive, firepower consistently, right? I think, like you said, if one person makes one more shot in one game, it's a different outcome.
Right.
If one person makes one more shot in them, I don't know, 4 to 7. Like there are so
Right.
many spaces and times where I think they either didn't capitalize on offensive opportunities or didn't take presented opportunities.
Right. And I'm not going to discredit uh Boston's defense,
Not no 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 no. They
but
had length, activity, athletic, cool.
right. But what I will say was the wins and losses were so drastic.
Yeah,
How can you hone in and say this is the best defense you've seen?
I
You
agree.
know, there's no way because while their defense is good, their defense is also inconsistent.
Yeah,
Um, and we also have to acknowledge while the defense is good, you had no answer for Jimmy.
right.
Um, and nor did it seem that they try a lot of different things.
And maybe that was it. Maybe that was the plan, right? If Jimmy gonna get his, he is. The rest of them ain't gonna get it, and ended up not. Let's look at a few things from the Eastern Conference. Actually, I don't remember which games they are from particularly, but I remember feeling certain ways about them. Um,
Okay.
Go ahead, G, whenever you are ready. All right, so we're bringing the ball up the floor, and so cool slip, and then like we get this curl. We don't look for that. We
Mhm.
come out of this. PJ rolls open. This is a good shot. right? Let that
Right.
go at G. I think that's a good look. That's a really good look.
Right. Right.
That's good opening kind of early offense. I think that was one of the first possessions of that game. Go ahead, you can or let it go, Gianni. You don't have to play that one again. My bad. Um, and then we started to do things like I said, where we like weren't taking opportunities. We weren't taking chances that they were there. Go
Hmm.
ahead. So here, um, a good pass, a good shot, right? Another good look. Go to the
Hmm.
next one. I feel like Jimmy has this pull up, right? And you know, if PJ were in the game, you know, I don't know that PJ's game is a pull up, but you know, that little flip shot is there. Boom, pause, right in here.
Right. There. Yeah.
Jimmy, start it again. Bring me back a beat, right? You saw it though. You saw that
Yep.
pocket,
Yep.
and there were so many of those pockets,
And he didn't
so
need that
often.
extra dribble. He
Boom,
doesn't. Right there. Step
right.
into it right there.
And so what's interesting, that is a bit more difficult of a shot than people kind of give it credit for. That's a quick bounce. It has to be an aggressive bounce to come back to the hand so that you can, it's a quick one too. It's
Right.
not, you know, a normal step into a shot, but that is a look. That's something that, you know,
Right.
gotta be kind of available. Go ahead. Oh no, Tiff, I'm sorry. I was talking to you.
Yeah. Well, but the thing is that we've noticed that Jimmy does have a habit of getting too far into the paint. Right.
And then if you watch the rest of that, PJ kept coming further than he
Hmm.
needed to go. Yeah. Go ahead. You said PJ or Jimmy has a habit of getting into the paint.
Yeah. And it's and a lot of it is early on in the game. Because
Hmm.
I wonder if this is his if these are his fill out moments where he's trying to be extra aggressive as far as getting everyone involved because he
Right.
had the shot, but
Yeah.
he, it seemed like he purposely didn't take it and got the ball to PJ. And maybe this is Jimmy, how he tries to set everybody up early on just to kind of get a little flow. Because look, it looks as even when he gets to the elbow, like he
Hmm.
hesitated for a quick second, like he thought
Hmm.
about it.
Hmm.
So I
Or
think we
we don't know, is that a hesitation? I'm thinking about the shot. Is that an intentional
right,
hesitation? I'm trying to
right,
freeze defense. Am I trying to read my own team?
right.
Um, but and so if I'm looking at the ticker correctly, I think this was game two. And
Mhm.
so if I'm trying to remember, you know, what the flow felt like for game two, it definitely felt like, or I feel like I remember it feeling like him trying to get, you know, people going.
Right.
Sometimes and he knows that, you know, we know that he knows that. Sometimes it's on him. So, um, with that being said, so I'm thinking about all these kind of pockets of space that were presented in this series, and they really were. There's a bunch that could have been pulled, could have been looked at from that. So I want G, do you have that graphic of the heat maps? I wanna have an exercise, right? So these are six different players
Mhm.
of their last five games.
Okay.
Um, two of these are Heat players,
Okay.
and then the other four are not. Do you want me to tell you which two Heat players are there, or do you just want to guess?
Hmm. It's the last 2 games of the series?
No, so I'm sorry. All of these are all of these players' last five games.
Okay. Jimmy.
Okay. Who else from Miami?
I'm
Come on,
gonna say
show more.
Bam.
No, I thought about Bam. Bam ain't start cooking for me until later on, but that's another show entirely. The other one is Boy Wonder, is
Okay.
Mr. Hero, and
Okay.
I know he didn't play much. I understand that. So where? Okay, so now you found, or I'm telling you, Jimmy and Tyler are there. Where do you think Jimmy and Tyler are?
I'm gonna say Jimmy's at the bottom
Which one?
on
Bottom left,
the
middle.
on my right,
Okay.
and Tyler's in the middle of the top row.
Okay. Tyler is in the middle of the top row. Jimmy is. I believe we're looking at this the same way.
It's
Jimmy is the top
uh-huh.
left corner.
Yep. Okay.
Um, so that's Jimmy and Tyler. And so yeah, right. So Tyler wasn't there often, but I'm looking at kind of where his spots come from. I'm looking at where his pockets were, and we were talking about it backstage. I do wish that um, that Tyler were available in the later parts of that series because I
Mhm.
think he was starting to kind of figure it out. He hadn't been playing well all series, all playoffs, making really really poor decisions with the ball, pissing off the guys. And but I think it was starting to come around. So we got Jimmy and Tyler right there. The other four, we're gonna get into some targets now. I know
Okay.
some names that's been, on our timelines. Mr. Beal, as he is always ever present in
Mhm.
heat target conversations. Um, Donovan, Mr. Mitchell himself. We got Zach Lavine, and we got G's guy, Harry B in here. So Donovan, Harry B, Zach, Brad. So I'm gonna tell you right now. So Harrison Barnes is the bottom left corner.
Okay.
And that feels like it makes sense to me, right? I don't know that
Right.
I envision Harrison Barnes doing a lot of things with the ball that's going to have him, in too varied of space, right? In the top right corner, we got Bradley. We got Bradley
Okay.
Beal, and I'm drawn to this. Like, look how heavy, how saturated that paint area is.
Mm.
That sounds like ability to kind of get to the rim from you. What do you right now? What are you thinking between Brad and Harrison's before we get into Zach and
Mm.
Donnie?
Yeah, I'm more leaning towards the guy that doesn't need the ball, that's going to give you rim
Hmm.
pressure,
Okay.
that's going to make the sharp cuts.
Hmm.
That the funniest thing is that back door was open a lot for us in the playoffs. We never
Yeah,
we
because
never had anyone enter it, but it was open.
girl,
Um,
wide open, unlocked.
so
You got cussed out in the morning.
athleticism is honestly what they need to fill
Yeah.
those gaps, to be able to make those cuts, to get back door, to put that rim pressure. You need a little youth, you need some athleticism.
Right.
Yeah.
And so Donovan Mitchell is in the bottom middle, and Zach Levine is on the bottom right.
Okay.
So I just thought that was interesting. It just struck me when I was looking for some stuff. All of this is pertinent stat also. So we're gonna start it off. Let's look at Harry, right? Someone that you mentioned, kind of not needing the ball in order to be effective. So go ahead, G. Let's get into Harrison. Let's get into Mr. Barnes. Um, I don't know if you have his pick and roll charts. Oh, here, no, you don't. Okay, cool. So go ahead. Oh, you do have the charts. You don't. I didn't know that you were going to put these in. So these are the total amount of times Harrison Barnes has handled the ball, or been involved in pick and roll from this season.
Okay.
Um, if G has the other two, there was one for how often he boom right here. This is for the switch.
Okay.
How often the defense is playing switch, and then the last one is how often they're going underneath him. And so his total, go back to his total real quick. So his total itself, I'm gonna tell you now, right, is not as dense as the others totals. But again, it makes
Right.
sense. Like we were, looking at the map. So you can go ahead with his clips. Thank you, G. So right, so being effective, but not needing the ball. Go ahead, G. I'm just talking right now. So he's coming off of pause. So he's going to be coming off of this action right here.
Mhm.
Go ahead. Not necessarily ready to catch, but it's cool getting into a dribble.
Right. Right.
Not necessarily, I mean, to catch and shoot, but it's cool getting into a dribble. Got there, got a cool little pump, got into the gap, kicked it out. Right. I thought that was fine. If you're not going to come ready to pull, at least come ready to do something with it,
Right.
something effective,
Right.
and you made the right read. Um, go ahead. He's a little slithery too. Like he has a little bit of some getting to the rim here. So cool little jab, and then a little burst. Like I don't know
Mhm.
if it's noticeable, if it's subtle or not. Play that one more time, G. Once he gets kind of in the hash or in the broken circle, he kind of just takes off. And I feel like I don't know that I've seen too much of that from him.
Right. Right. But
And I
I like
go ahead.
how he gets the ball and he
Mhm.
immediately squares up.
Yeah, triple threat, like or at least near triple threat.
Yep. Look
I'm
at
not
this.
shaky
So,
with it.
yep. Yep.
I'm not shaky. I'm not loose. I'm not, insecure. I'm
Right.
all right. I'm protected. Go ahead, go to the next one. So we're talking about getting to the basket. Now he doesn't have a bunch of, ins and outs, shakes to his game, but he's going to give you like solid straight line drives,
Mhm.
lowers his shoulder a little bit, um, and enough to absorb it. And again, makes a good read in there. And that's solid. These are solid things. And this is Houston. I believe that's what the court says. These are the Rockets. You can take that for what it's worth. But things that I think could be. I'm looking at all of these guys, right, and I'm saying, how do the things that they do well? How can they contribute
Mhm.
over here?
Right.
Or would it be a plug and play, or would it be are they dynamic enough to where we can tweak some things around them? Harrison Barnes feels like a pretty decent plug and play guy, and that's not a bad thing. Um, Go ahead. And then the last couple are some defensive stuff. Um, and so this is what I like, and it's really, you'll notice kind of the difference when we get to Bradley Beal and Donovan
Mhm.
Mitchell's defensive clips. Like the poise kind of in Andrew's feet. He's not
Yeah.
really reactive. He's not making a bunch of like what feels like quick chirping, like
Right.
feet motions. Like he's cool. He's poised. I'm down. I move with you, and then I contest. If you make the
Right.
shot, you make the shot. That's a great
Yep.
contest.
Yep. And the thing is,
Chico
he
Sexton.
thwarted off the ability to get to the basket. So he didn't
Yeah,
fall for that slight pump fake. He
right.
stayed down, kept his shoulders square, kept his feet in the good stance. And
Thank
that's
you.
what I like. I'm going to stay on you. If you make it, you make it.
That's good energy. That's good
Yep.
poise. That's not anxiousness on the floor. That's like, all right, I'm here. I'm just locking up. And that's, I don't
Right.
know if that's natural. I know that it's natural. I don't know if it's something that can be developed, but
Right.
technique certainly can. But just the kind of a natural instinct with that. You have the last one for Harry. Um,
Yeah, there was
and
no hopping.
yeah,
You know that little bunny hop.
yeah, none of
Yeah.
that. We're not raising up. Um, G might not have the last one for. It's not. Oh, okay. That's okay. It was a very similar possession, but he was guarding Brandon Ingram. Brandon was on the left wing, kind of gave him some sweep. Harrison stayed down, stayed with him, closed out really strong, really hard, high. Didn't foul though, right? Like didn't get his feet into my man's
Right.
landing space, and Brandon missed the shot. Plug and play guys who will defend, who will hit shots, who can put it on the bounce a little bit and make good reads out of it. I think is uh a finely suited Miami Heat player. What you think?
No, I definitely agree. He's he's a smart vet.
Yeah, and
And
he feels like a vet now, right? Like
yeah,
he's a vet. He's definitely a vet.
yeah, he's a smart vet. Is this
Yeah.
the play? G? Okay.
No.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Yeah. A smart vet. Go ahead.
I it's funny because he is literally the definition of what would be plug and play.
Yeah. Like you don't have to adjust a bunch. He fits into what you currently do.
And
And go ahead.
he fits the scheme
Hmm.
of what they can do defensively and offensively.
Hmm.
Um and cuz one of my biggest things is you have a point guard
Right.
who's going to handle the ball. He's
Mm.
not, I don't see Kyle being off ball all the time. Willing
Yeah.
to be off ball, willing to throw his
Right.
body. Like at some point, like, you want to keep him upright and healthy.
Right.
So he's
I,
going to
I
be
fully agree.
yeah, he's going to be on the ball making the decisions. So, for me, do you want to bring a guy in who's going to also pound the ball
Right.
when you already have Kyle, when you have Jimmy?
Right.
Then let's say you have Tyler. So you have three guys that are already ball dominant
Yeah.
and
Who
bring
already kind of feel like there's some squeezing happening
right,
amongst the ranks. So,
right.
we're talking about ball dominant a little bit, and let's get into it. We can go to our next guy here, G, and I appreciate him because yes, it's ball dominant, but I think can play off ball too. I don't know that we've seen him be with anyone else competent enough off the ball since John Wall
Right.
left or did whatever happened to him. And so we're going to talk about Mr. Beal here, right? So this is this chart here or this graph here. These are all of the pick and roll, instances for Brad over the season. Same thing. The next one will be him versus the switch,
Mhm.
and then him versus going under. And I'm thinking about, so when Instat says someone is going under, it's not actually the guards man. It's essentially a drop. Like the big is playing way underneath. And so I'm thinking about, you know, all of these instances where kind of in the Boston series, yeah, the pockets in the middle were open, but there were some times too where if we had a guy that can kind of just come off of a screen pretty competently at the top, near the three, what I
Hmm.
kind of call, taking the top off of a little bit, I think that loosens some a bit too. So go ahead, G. Right into Brad's clip, right? I think the first one for Bradley is him in a very similar type of situation. He's gonna come off the screen from right to left, and you'll notice the dribble, the step that we were talking about is a quick one.
Hmm.
The one that is the step that Jimmy would have needed to take in that little pocket of space against Boston.
Yep.
It's quick, but he does it smooth.
Yeah.
Boom, and I'm up. He'll make the shot, but to have that ability, have that again, that kind of just natural, offensive, intangibility to him that like Jimmy doesn't have, and that is fine. That's okay. Jimmy has worked himself. Jimmy is fantastic at what he does. He doesn't do stuff like this though. And the
Right.
only one that you have on the bench doing or have on your team doing stuff like this is Tyler and Kyle when he wants to.
Right.
You can go to the next one. So we're getting downhill, right? We're going toward the
Hmm.
basket. Same thing. And here though, he has some shake, right?
Yeah.
Harrison is giving you some
Mm.
fine stuff. Brad, I'm able to get my defender off of me in a little bit more creative way. G's laughing, I think, at your face, but that
Cause
he's
that was I listen, not
yeah,
for
yeah,
nothing, but the one thing that people always forget about, and I never really thought about this either, but
what's that?
his handle is so tight.
It
Look how
is.
tight it has to be on
It
that
has
spin
to
move
be to
because
exactly
they converge on him as soon as he spins into the lane and
go.
he keeps the ball. Like, look at this. This is that's
Boom,
not
over here.
no.
And he
Yeah,
sets it up. He knows he wants to spin back
yep.
to coming to his left side or
Look at the
coming over his
vertical. Look at
right.
his
I'm
vertical line on the
I'm
shot.
boom. I'm up there. That's we don't have that. Go
Yeah.
to the next one. We're talking about guys that can play, against the switch. This is against Miami. Pause. Boom. Who he get the switch on? Your boy. Go ahead. This is Bam. Love him to death. Waddy wah whoop whoop. Snatch. Come here. And it's not a thing that G is y'all can't hear G in the
He
yeah,
did.
hit him with come on, like pulled it back. And again, it's not something that's like uncommon or that a bunch of
Right.
guys can't execute. But we're talking about the things that he has, a part of his
Right.
game.
So the funny thing about it is, why would he go challenge Bam at the rim?
For what? What am I
And
about
that
to put myself in that situation
ex-
for?
and that's the smart play. Why am I going to challenge you at the rim when I can hit the midi?
I have it. Damn. John pulled me an incredible amount of stats. I'm so sorry, John. I did not get a chance to look at many of them at all. But I think one of the stats that stood out to me amongst all of the guys that we're talking about here, Brad has the highest percentage in that mid range area, in those pockets of space that was open in Boston that I needed someone with the handle to
Right.
kind of maneuver into. Right, the guy has it, but we're talking about some defense too. Go to the next one. Brad had pause before you. Brad has the kind of like anxious, antsy feet that
Mhm.
like makes my skin kind of crawl on defense. Go ahead. Um, on very like just
Yeah.
where like just
He's
jittery. He's
yeah.
jumping, he's lunging. That left foot, he moved for no reason. Comes high for no reason. He opens himself up. If you if
Well,
you're
he
if
he
you're
he never
go
got
ahead.
settled. He
And that's
never
what I'm saying. Do you know that you're do you know, and then more importantly, does your teammates know that you're about to like ice this screen, that you're making him reject this screen? Are we aware of what's happening? Because your body language and the way you're reacting to this movement made it feel like you just got yourself out of position.
I think the thing is too is that like it's like a semi closeout that he tried to
Boom.
do. So
Go ahead.
like people don't
What are you
realize
gonna
you don't
do?
need to rush when you're closing out.
You nowadays you don't even have to close out. Yes, close out all the
Right.
way, but the short close is fucking people
Yep.
up. But yeah,
It,
on your
no.
most dudes, G,
Get
most dudes aren't good shooters enough.
exactly. And get your
Yep.
hand up. If you're doing the short closeout, nothing works better than getting your hands up.
Right. Chop your steps, close high,
Yep.
right? Why are we doing all this other stuff?
He but the thing that like I will say I don't like is what he did at the end of the possession. And I just
Go
don't like
ahead,
it when any player when they do it.
play it one
They
more time.
slump, they turn around, head down.
Boom. Right.
Watch. Slump,
Ugh.
turn around, head down. I don't like
Yeah.
that. You
And
got beat.
that was a
Like
slow turnaround too.
but you got beat because you got beat. You didn't get beat because you got crossed. You got, like he
You
went
beat
into his
yourself.
bag. Like none of that happened. You
You beat
just
yourself.
your fundamentals are wrong on
Yes.
defense.
Boom. You have, these are bad defensive feet. Take me to the next guy. We're gonna get into some more bad defensive feet, but we're gonna talk about his good stuff first, right? Mr. Mitch. Um, we're looking at Donovan Mitchell's pick and roll possessions, and I'm not gonna ask him to do it, but I'm trying to think about what Donovan's looks like and where I'm seeing where Brad's stuff was coming at.
Hmm.
Donovan's like 3 point line is splayed out, right? We're off the line a bit. This is what we're doing stuff out here.
Right.
Um, Donovan, oh yeah, I think he's going back. Um, so
Bill.
Bill, I'm sorry. So you're fine. Go back to Donovan, and then give me Donovan versus the switch. Um, Donovan versus the switch. A lot of switches
Mm.
happening out here. There are some outliers, like these two little dots that's happening
Yeah.
way over to the left. I watched them clips. It's funny. Instat counts things funnily. And then Donovan versus the under versus the drop. Right. That's a bit
That's
more. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, 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 no. Tell me. Talk.
I'm not confident in that.
Or why? What is not confident
I
about that? Go ahead.
I
Why
need
are you
I need,
not
I
confident?
need to see I need to see this I need to see a visual on this cuz I
Why?
might
Is it too heavily concentrated? Is it too much? Is it too space? Why are you not? What are you seeing right here? I love this.
I just I I I need to see what's happening above this arc. That's what I
Right?
need. I need to see
Look,
what's happening.
I had a funny story. I send G way too many clips every episode. I sent G a crap ton of clips. We cut a bunch. There is a bunch of video about what's happening at the top of
Okay.
this arc. And but I do got a couple. Right? I think I have one. Yeah, go into his clip sheet. The very first one. Right. This is another pause. This is another example of what I'm talking about with Brad. Right, taking the top off. I'm coming off of the screen. It's high. Um, our main pick and roll ball handlers, Jimmy mostly is
Mhm.
who I'm talking about.
Right.
Jimmy's not pulling this.
Right.
Jim, we ain't see Jimmy, get comfortable with his catch and release until toward the later part of the season.
Right.
And so, boom, Donovan Mitchell got the space, take the top off. Hey, that's too much space to be guarding Rudy over there. Pause it when it stops. G. Whoever's guarding Rudy is either unattached or not paying attention, and is already starting too far away. Go ahead, G. Like play it. I mean, pause it when the zone thing comes up. It should have paused on its own. I don't know why it didn't. It was quick, but right in here, that's too much. You are too far away from
Yeah.
Rudy, knowing that Rudy is the person in this screen, in this action, and that this is what's about to happen. Go ahead. I don't think he makes it, but the ability to. And
Right.
that's not even a bad close. Like you got there. He
No,
got there.
he got there.
Donovan like jumped into it. He probably could have gotten to it a bit quicker. Dude got there and um, it still was a bit late.
I also so he can get that shot.
Right? But
I
what
don't
else?
but I don't like that shot.
Okay. Where what else could he have gotten? I'm
Let's
thinking
watch.
right in here.
Okay, so here,
Frame by
right?
frame. Yep.
So even here, he could
Exactly.
curl right around and look at that lane right there.
It's already in his left hand, I believe. Give me some extension. Get into that pocket. If you
Right
got it
there.
in your
He could
right,
have got yes.
give me the
Yes.
crossbody. Get into that pocket.
Yeah.
It's so funny, and I had a clip of him doing that. He has that ability, and like you said, you don't like the shot because I know that you can get something different. I've seen you get something different.
Right.
Um, get to that right with Miami. again with Boston, those are where the kind of pockets were because Al's in the drop, unless it's Rob closing out, which again he's a different show himself. Um, but yeah, like get up in there. You take that shot. Okay, go ahead.
Right. I also think it's interesting too because, well, we see the Heat players do it from time to time. Once he gets the ball and starts to curl around for the shot, the only person that moved was Gobert, Rudy.
Yep, the person
So,
in the role. Ain't nothing else happening.
right. So there's nothing else happening on offense, and it's like everybody's still just watching him,
Yeah, yeah.
which is
Um,
how you don't want the Heat's offense to run. Like
go to the next
we don't you're not Seinfeld. I don't want everybody watching you. We need like
one.
there needs to be some movement to the
Yeah,
offense and not you being the
right.
offense.
Go ahead. And so now we're playing against a hedge. So he's gonna come off pause. Boom. Two came to the ball, slip
That's a good
or
pass.
flip. That's a great pass. Let
Mhm.
it play. Let it play one more time. All right. So in this clip and the subsequent clip are different games, but similar things. Let this one go again. Right. Coming off, anticipating that they probably gonna come out. I don't know if that's bad defense. It's pretty sure it's bad.
That's bad
Definitely bad.
defense.
Definitely, I know it's definitely bad defense. Reddit though made the good read, made the
Right.
proper pass. This one he doesn't make the pass, but I feel like he could. Boom, same thing. I don't know. I feel like you can get it there. Lead him to the basket.
Yep.
I
Yep.
but you give me a pullback, right? You
And
give me
see
a
my
flashback.
and that but that goes back to my problem with that first shot. You're doing too many things too early in the shot clock for me.
Mm, I like
Like
it.
this
Yep.
is too early.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you're
And he took
down.
that shot.
You're down by what? Over 20? And it's too early in the shot clock for that.
He definitely
For
could have gotten that pass. I'm as
uh-huh.
I'm watching it, there is space on this. It would have been a dart. It's either a dart through that kind of right channel to the
Right.
right of him, or it's a little loftier into
His
the basket. It has to be on the
his
right side of the basket though, because there is help on the left. But he can
well
get
look
that
look
there.
at but see how he missed Rudy? How
And guess what
Rudy
I'm talking about?
ran with his arm
That
extended,
yeah,
the hand that should be extended.
target hand.
Yep.
Rudy though, Rudy should be
Now
closer to
watch he
the right.
slip right there.
He should Rudy should try to make that slip a bit closer to the right side of the basket so that that pass can be between like the rim and the backboard because there is help on the left side
Right.
coming. But yeah, like the to think about it. Why? I mean, it's there, and but you give me that pullback. That's what I was
Right.
talking about. Um,
His
so
shot selection worries me.
boom, very fair. We talk. Brad gets a bunch of flack for getting the bag, get the bag. I don't care, whatever.
Right.
Just if that's what you want, let that be what you want. Stop playing in our faces, whatever. But I think has made has become a more intelligent player. Not that I'm
Mhm.
saying Brad over Donovan or whatever, whatever. But right, like shot selection, sorry. And then going to some of Donovan's thing, man. Bradley's feet made me itch. Like Donovan's defensive feet are really bad, and it's so strange. But it makes perfect sense to me with what I kind of feel like his personality is. I don't know why. Go to the next one, G. Just like why are you moving so much? What that little jump? Where are we jumping to? Like
That
why?
bunny hop will get you killed every time.
And you're not even going like where are you? You thought you were turning him? Did you
Switchy,
think it was
switchy.
not? What are we? Why? And so now you're beat. Now you're a step behind, and it doesn't make sense because he's such an athletic, like a physical, gift. Why are the why are the wheels so strange? The wheels are misaligned. I don't understand.
Uh,
Go to the next one, G. Um, and then this one is worse than the previous one.
let's see.
What what are
It's
you
a lot
doing?
of reaching. It's
And
a
then we get
lot
under the
of
basket, and he's like, still settle down. Like that is, I look at this and I think about that first possession from Harrison Barnes and how there was no shuffling of the feet. I'm
right.
not throwing my left foot high for no reason. I'm not welcoming the beat off the dribble. I just,
Well,
and then we get here and we're getting closer to some defensive position. And then you open your hips again for
right.
no reason. Like settle down, calm
Well, the
down.
thing about it is too, he's going against Brunson, who's probably what smaller than him.
Probably, but
So
Brunson's a
there's
good size.
so there's no need. for the like there's no need for the reaching, there's no need for any of that. Because
Right.
you should already know in the scouting report, he's going to the basket.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's his go-to is to get into the paint.
Yep. And
Like
so
he'll
why?
pull
And so why are you not anticipating that? Why do you not
right,
press your bodily position to like cut that off, take it in the chest? You're bigger than him. You should be
right,
able to absorb it. But so when you look at Donovan, with what we talked about, I know that there's space or like a way that Miami can use him. And I understand what he gives.
right.
I get what she's giving. But I don't know. There's that I don't like the shot selection. I know that we can help him improve his defensive posture and these things. And I know that he will help. And I'm not even saying that I don't
Right,
want him. I don't know that I want him over some of the other people.
right.
Um, and with that said, I don't think it's happening. We saw the tweet earlier about he's probably intending to resign where he's at. But I don't care what y'all say. I am a fan of Mr. Lavine. Gianni, that was directly to you. Love you so much. Um, and I'm looking at this, and the first thing that jumps out to me is the how varied it is, how spread out it is,
Mhm.
how much he's doing, whatever it is that he's doing in other sectors of the floor. Um, he has a lot of splaying out happening at the 3 point line too, especially on that left side. I don't know what all is happening over there, but there's so much happening in so many places, and I think this is interesting too. Like if you like zoom your eyes out a bit and kind of like focus on the middle but not focus, you can like it's like this funnel that's
Mhm.
happening toward the rim. And so we know that he's an athletic freak, so we know he's finishing well around the rim, but in that gap, right, like in that little sliver in the like roll alley, like in the slip
Right.
lane, he appears to be active in there too. Him versus the switch. And then Miami plays a bunch of switching defenses. The league is switching defenses. I don't think that he switched the chart, but there's a chart for Zach against the switch, and then him against the drop, which I don't even know that I'm thinking of Zach. I wouldn't have thought of Zach up until this season as someone that I wouldn't not play in the drop. But
Mhm.
he's improved his shooting. He's improved his handle. And the first four of his clips, I don't even have maybe one or definitely not more than one of him taking jump shots. He's taking a lot of jump shots. They run him off of a lot of
Mhm.
action that we run people like Duncan and Tyler off of. And this is a dude who's far more athletic, springy, and like I said, improved off the dribble. So G, go ahead into his clips. Um, First one, oh, Zach versus the switch, Zach versus the drop. Um, Thanks. Go ahead. They were. Yeah, it's fine. Go to the start me up. So he's coming down, right? We're just going left. I take the bump off the glass. It's a finish.
You know, it's so
Okay.
simple, but you need someone who
There's a
can run a delayed break
yes. Yes.
besides who you already have.
Right.
Like you
Yes.
need someone else who can get the ball,
What talk about
hesitate for a second
yep.
to just scan the floor. Did you notice
There you
that
go.
slight
Yep.
hesitation? And I don't
Mhm.
think the hesitation was I'm trying to freeze you. I'm trying to see what's in front of me.
I'm reading. I'm
Yep.
reading. I'm seeing what's about to happen. I see where this defense is coming from. I know I got this little pocket of space over here to the left. I'm taking the bump and I'm finishing. Um, Go to the next one. Really, really slithery, like very his handle is he is someone whose handle is much improved. We're in here. I'm bringing it low, right? That I move space is the most important concept in
Mhm.
basketball. And it is not even really all about bodily space. Most of it is the space that the ball has to either be passed through, dribbled in, shot from, whatever. And so he found the space like below to get it to the proper side of the body that he wanted to.
Right.
And I'm up. Finishes. I think, yeah, this is against Milwaukee. Um, Go to the next one, G. He is a right jab, right? I'm sweeping above this time now. I don't finish, but watch how I absorb this blow with Giannis. Like I'm strong, I'm
Mhm.
lengthy, I'm I'm lean, and so the energy, the impact is dispersed evenly. I'm not moved. I'm not bumped. I'm pretty cool.
But
Um,
but that first step though.
that's the first, the jab. That's how you did. From there,
Yeah,
everything else was the finishing. Um, Go again or go to
right.
the next one.
But even
Go
I
ahead.
I even noticed in that first clip when I don't know who it was, but
Pause G.
whoever's setting the screen,
Go back to the
he
second one
waits.
to come
Like
off the
he's
screen.
patient.
Hmm.
Yes. He if you move too fast,
I think this
then
is it.
you get your man called for a moving screen
This
because they're still trying to set up.
this one
Like
too.
he gives it just enough time.
Oh no, that's the first. Nah, the second one right here.
This
Yeah,
one. Yeah, this one.
you
Watch
had
how
it.
he gives it just that second.
Mm-hmm. Coming off.
Like right there.
Boom. Just a little giddy up. The little. Huh.
Yep. Just
It,
enough time where you give your man enough time to get his body turned to be able to move to the basket without being called for a foul.
exactly. And that's how you keep your bigs in the game. You keep them involved. You keep them, like you said, out of foul trouble. Go ahead to the next one. And then this pause. So from this angle, I actually love this angle. I don't like watching it in the game, but it's a great angle to see the floor. You can see where the gaps of space is, and that
Mhm.
same kind of crossbody dribble that I've been talking about, that Tyler has, that Donovan has. Um, I love the fluidity in his though, and I think a lot of people think that Zach is fraudulent, maybe in his offensive abilities because it feels like he plays. I don't know, so pretty, maybe, I don't know, or I don't know. Like he doesn't play with a lot of, I don't know, force or banging in his offensive game. But why do
Right.
that when I'm better at the other things than you? Go ahead, press play. Coming here left to right. I'm just getting it over to the right side. I don't make the layup. I don't know. I can't tell if it got blocked or not. I have my screen minimized a bit, but just the move coming
Right.
off the screen. I know where the space is, and I'm capable. I'm able to get over there.
Well, he has such good body control.
Yeah, that's natural. You there's Jimmy has fantastic body control, but Jimmy's body doesn't move the way that
Mhm.
Zach moves. You can have great body control in all types of bodies, but if they move mechanically different, they just do. Um, we don't have anyone on Miami who moves the kind of way that Zach does. And again, to round him out, a couple looks at what he looks like defensively. Um, so again, not great feet, but not as quick and like feeling
Right.
kind of Donovan's was, and
His
as
length helped
gradual,
him.
and that his length is always going to help. He has to learn better to play with his length. His hips
Mhm.
are too high. He's standing too straight up. He should sit down a bit. This is why Duncan Robinson is so handsy, because he has poor balance in his hips when he's on defense. He's like off balance, and so and he's off balance and has bad defensive feet. And
Right.
so for Duncan, this is a foul.
Yeah.
Um, but for someone like Zach, right, that's still not great, like otherworldly defense, but he has the body
Right.
control, the athleticism to be a good defender. You can go to the last one. Um, but here, though, we see pieces of
Now
Pappy.
the shot clock.
Yeah.
Holiday
He's dancing.
over
It's dancing,
Lavine.
right?
He's dancing.
Cha cha, really at the elbow. Kind of for no reason. Like, and
The
he's
shot
he's
clock.
lost
Holiday
on the
over Lavine.
as
He's
soon
lost
as
on the pass.
he's
That
lost on
what
the pass, like on
look
the
at this.
touch to this little spot is he's lost here.
Well, cuz
And
he's ball watching.
yep, go ahead, boom. And then when I
Now the
go to
shot clock.
recover, I'm
Holiday
recovering
over
back to where I
Lavine.
thought you were, and not where you clearly have come from and are now going somewhere else.
Now the shot
And
clock.
so now
Holiday
I got an answer to,
over
because I was
Lavine.
like, fuck.
Yeah.
Ah.
That's exactly it.
Now the
He
shot
got
clock.
too deep
Holiday
and his
over
feet are
Lavine.
just crossing over. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah. But, that rounds them out. Tiff, give me your closing thoughts. on some of the guys that we talked about today. Um, well, I'm gonna ask you just a couple random questions,
Okay.
and this is no jab at anybody. Even if it was, I kind of wouldn't care. But it's not like okay, if you lose a Tyler, which of these? Yes, Gianni. If you lose a Tyler, which of these four would you rather receive?
um.
And then I'm just Tyler specifically. I'm gonna go through it with a couple people.
Okay.
Tyler.
Well, I would assume you could probably get Harrison Barnes without losing Tyler. So I'll take him
Oh,
off the equation.
nope, I don't even
Um.
want to do that. I'm like going skill set. If you lose what Tyler's skill set is, which
Oh,
of
the
these?
skill set. Okay.
Yep, yep. Which of these skill sets would you rather
Uh.
be brought in?
I. In order.
Okay,
I'm gonna go Lavine, Beal, and then Donovan.
boom. All right, I like that. I had the exact same order for Tyler. If you lose Duncan and his skill set, who do you want?
Uh. I would go Beal,
Okay, that's interesting.
Barnes,
Okay, okay.
Mitchell.
Mitch, I'm not mad. I like that. See, if we lose Duncan, I would go Barnes, Beal, and I still would go Levine. But I think for like losing what a Duncan does, plug and playing kind of a Harrison, poised, under control, can hit that same pocket pass that Duncan can. Um, there are clips of him coming off of those screens looking
Right.
to shoot. I just picked one of him looking to drive. And then, okay, so last one. If you were to lose a Vic and his skill set and whatever his prognosticated role would have been coming into next season.
Mhm.
And then that's the last one.
I'm gonna go Levine,
Okay.
Barnes, Beal, Mitchell.
I would go Levine, Beal, Barnes, Mitchell. But I'm not mad at
I
that.
I first off, I'd prefer not having a small backcourt.
I lied. I would put Barnes before Bill even in losing a Vic. Go ahead.
Yeah, I prefer not having a small backcourt.
Yeah,
Um,
much prefer.
I like Levine's length,
Mm,
and I like that he's athletic, which
mm.
means that if he worked with the right person, his defense would step up a notch.
What? It has no choice but to.
Right. Um, I just like Harrison Barnes. I've always liked Harrison Barnes.
I
So
agree.
that's just I like what he gives. I like that he's the consummate professional. I like that he comes to play.
Yeah.
You know, if you need 15 points, book it. Like you can get it from him. Like there's
Yep.
no questions, you know. You're not gonna have to worry about benching him because he can't give it to you. Because he's
I
gonna
mean,
give it to you.
I look at it this way, right? Like Golden State, their upgrade from Harrison Barnes was Andrew Wiggins. And I do
Yes.
well, I guess it was technically Kevin Durant, but I'm look like
Yeah, like Kevin Durant is outer worldly.
if we're looking at like the little Russian dog, stop it. G's in here talking nonsense. The little nesting dolls is like the
Mhm.
little ones inside the bigger one. It's
Yep.
like Harrison Barnes is inside of the Andrew Wiggins
Right.
egg.
Right.
Um,
I listen, I agree. Ha, Harrison Barnes is underrated.
I think so.
He gives you what he gives you night in and night out.
I would say he's
Um,
underappreciated.
yeah, he is
I
underappreciated.
think so.
And also because he's stuck in like no man's land right now. Um, but I think for the Heat, I think it is only one or two ways that you could go. If you could land a per se whale, let's say you could land a whale, right?
Hmm,
Which
hmm.
means that Harrison Barnes is not that he's not the whale
Okay,
because
right.
no one
Yeah,
is calling him the whale. They're calling
yeah.
these other
Harrison Barnes
guys,
he's prize tuna.
right?
Right. Yeah.
Mackerel.
Well,
Um,
okay. Come on. Mm.
they're calling these other guys the whale. So for me, if you say those three guys are the whale. I like the potential of what Lavine and Kyle could look like in the backcourt. I think it makes an interesting pairing.
I
I
like
think
a Lavine Bam pick and roll.
I like the idea of that. I
The I
like the
think
idea
that would
of
be
us
his
being able to
important.
run and
Giannis is absurd.
get down I get get downhill more. I
Yes.
like all these things.
Easy baskets. You know,
Easy
Kyle
baskets.
likes them look aheads to Jimmy. Half of them shits might be lobs to Zach. Like just
Right,
quick little ditties. Just
right.
yeah.
And then if I move ahead and I say, all right, so let's say he's off the table. Then
Okay, Zach.
who would I move to next? I would move to Beal. Um, I think there's something to be said for that whole period where John Wall left
Yeah,
and it was basically Beal or bust.
yeah.
Because his
Something to
defense looked a lot better early on with John Wall.
I agree.
But once it was just him, and
Yeah,
then once they kind of brought Russ in, he had to do so much more focusing on the offense that I
he
think
had to.
that, I just think the defense just went astray. Like, it's not like it was never there because he was a
Right,
way better defender
right,
X amount of years ago.
right. I agree. And
So,
I thought about that the other day, kind of randomly, like, like you said, having to carry that load. I don't know if they were in half the games that he was the leading scorer in, or
right,
that year he was going back and forth with it with Steph. But like to even be in position to win games and to have to do it that way,
right,
something's gonna have to give. And
right,
I truth, just honestly, genuinely, that'd be kind of how it be.
right. And he's a pure scorer. Like
Yeah,
he is. He
yeah.
can go out there and he can give you an easy 30. So that's one of the things I do like about him where we know there are going to be between 15 to 25 games that Jimmy's not going to play. Like that. Like that's a given. We've come to this conclusion over the last couple of seasons. He's going to miss time.
Yeah,
You can slot Bill right in and
yeah.
you're going to win at least probably 80% of those games.
I honestly think you get his defensive posture and his body right. I genuinely think for the kind of roles and how they actually play out. I think if you slotted a Zach in, but this is you're taking Zach off
Yeah.
the table. You who
Yeah, I
okay?
took him off.
Yes, I
Yeah.
got you. I got you. No, I'd agree then. Um,
And I like the combination of what it could look like still with Kyle in the backcourt with Beal. Because Beal is a guard that will take pressure off of Kyle.
hmm Yeah.
Um and
And
then
Beal is someone that can be off ball. You were talking about ain't gonna
yes.
be too much more Kyle running around
Yes.
doing
Yes.
whatever it is he's doing. So
Well, there's that pressure valve where, go back to it where we're winning and Kyle's giving us 10 points. But
yeah.
like, you know, 9 assists and like
Boom.
6 rebounds.
Yeah.
Well, that was cute while we were winning.
Yeah. And
But
then
then
we
when
can
you're
get
not winning and
yeah,
you need
you
those
just need more.
points, and if he can't give you, if he can't crank it up to
15,
20 every night,
yeah.
then you have a running mate that says you
Okay.
don't have to.
Yep.
You run the show, you get people open, and I'm going to get mine. Don't
Yeah.
worry about me.
I'm cutting. Brad's a great cutter.
Yep.
He has some bounce to him. Like you can give him a quick little, well placed lob. Like he has stuff to his game. And I do think being relieved of having to carry the weight of the offense, both in playmaking
Mhm.
and playmaking for himself, trying to play make and
Right.
table set for others, and finish plays if other people were able to generate plays. Like he had to carry the offense in such a varied number of facets. So I'm with you. I got just overall, wrap it up. If I had my pick of the four, I'm going Zach, Brad, Harry, Donovan, and that's just me personally. Give me your one of the four. If the world was Tiffany's, Miss
I
Meeks,
it's
if you
it's
nasty.
touchy because You don't know what's happening with PJ.
Okay.
So to me, that plays a huge part into how I look at all of this being framed as to, because yeah, they need somebody else that can go score. They need somebody that can go give you 20 points and you don't have to
Mhm.
and you don't have to think about it.
Right.
But the idea is
I see where you're going with
you got
this.
to fill the holes,
Yeah.
you know? Um cuz I feel like Twitter thinks that if you just run out and get this whale, everything is fixed.
Right.
But the reality is, where do you need the most help and how can you kind of patch it up without giving up everything
That's what I'm
like
saying.
that,
You can't
because
go
that's
like
to me.
fill two holes and like create six. The hell did we just
Right,
gain here?
because that right, because that's what would happen with a Beal trade, a Donovan Mitchell trade.
Donovan trade. Yeah.
Not as much, I would assume, with Zach Levine because he's a free
Right.
agent.
Right.
So I'm gonna give you these graham crackers
And and
and you gonna
and
like it.
and G's not even in my ear saying this, but I know this is something he likes to. I know that.
Why can't they?
Just so that everybody can
Not,
hear me, their cap situation is not. They cannot sign.
but we're not. But
He
what
would
if
have
they
to be
went into the
assigned a trade.
luxury tax?
He,
Right?
That's
No,
fine.
that's what I
Yeah.
said.
okay, okay, okay,
You're
yeah.
gonna take these graham crackers that I'm trading you
Yes,
because
that
he
is what
wants to
we.
leave.
I
So
and
you're
I
not
know
gonna have
Harrison.
to.
He right. Doesn't Harrison's contract like depreciates? Like as the years go
Right.
on, his contract
Yes.
gets smaller.
And his
Yeah.
contract expires the same years that Jimmy's does, so the money
So
kind of
the
clears,
so the
and
timeline
Kyle's as well. So
would
it
work.
yeah.
That opens everything up.
Right. So if you're
Yeah.
being a reasonable adult and you look at the situation,
I don't want to look at the situation.
I know, but if you're
You-
being reasonable
right.
and you're looking at it from practicality,
Yes.
Harrison Barnes is
Yeah.
the most suited
Yes.
because you don't have to gut your team to get him.
And you don't have to change too much if you don't want to.
Exactly.
Yes. Fully agree.
Whereas now, how would it work, G? Let's say if you did acquire Harrison Barnes for, I don't know, Duncan, a pick, and graham crackers, right?
Hmm.
So
That
you
works.
did that.
That works great.
All right. You do that. What are your chances of bringing back PJ, Caleb, Vic? How does that work?
So, your big thing is being hard capped
Mhm.
because it's not a luxury tax thing, but A, they're not going to be in the repeater tax, which is huge, which is why they avoid being in the luxury tax. So the day that they do have to be in the tax, they don't have to pay repeater tax. So as long as they can stay under the hard cap, because when you sign a mid-level exception contract, which I'm sure that they're going to use, whether it be
Hmm.
on PJ or use a part of it on PJ and a part of it on Caleb, that's something that Riley does. So you can bring Barnes in and you can bring those guys in on multi-year deals. And because Barnes's contract gets smaller, you can give them more money at the end and you can give them the extra year. So you get a little bit of that security and probably like a wink, wink, hand, hand under the table
Yeah.
deal.
Mhm.
When we have your bird rights,
We got you.
again, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Come on. Give me your four. Rank them
Mm.
for me. And even in your practical world, and I live in practicality too.
Right.
I
I
just
but I won't live in practicality to rank it. I just wanted to put that out there so
okay.
when people
Oh
are
yes.
listening to this or watching this that they know it's cute to
That's,
dream and,
that's
and,
why I
and want
appreciate
all these
you.
things, but like
Come on.
reality is what it is, right? Um, but for
A
me,
motherfucking ham sandwich
right,
is
right,
what you
right. If
got
I'm just getting what
sometimes.
I want,
Yeah.
if I'm getting what I want, then I want Zach Levine.
Yeah.
That's my number one. I want him. Um, and then because of my other wants that I
Hmm.
want to remain on the team, I'm gonna go
Yep.
Harrison Barnes.
I like that too.
Um, and then Bradley Beal and then Donovan Mitchell. I just don't want a small backcourt.
I don't.
I just don't want that.
I like
Bradley
that.
Beal's not that tall, but he
He's
plays
not.
big.
Yeah.
I just don't want that small. I don't want that small backcourt. And I want our offense to kind of move in a direction as to where we're not living and dying by the three.
Yeah. Hello. Another show as well. Um, no,
So that's
I
where I'm at.
I'm with you fully. Um, this was fantastic. We are about to wrap and get out of here. Thank you guys who are here. Shout out to Gianni. You've been so helpful to me. I'm gonna give you some flowers, Ricky. You're fantastic. I don't know that you hear it enough. We like to joke on you, but G is really a great dude.
Not.
Tiff, you my dog. You know I appreciate you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, man, this has been the second installment, Needle to the Groove. I am Siobhan, that's G, that's Tiff. And we can get on out of here.
Couple things
Thanks.
quick before we
Oh,
go.
I'm sorry. I
Yes,
didn't
yes.
even
G.
come on.
Let me throw this bone out there real quick.
Yes.
Pause. Uh, so real, real quick. Mixed bag Friday night, eight
Talk to him.
o'clock. You know where to be. It's gonna be part two of this. It's gonna be me, my girl Shy right here, at Frankie G is gonna be also on the panel, and we're gonna have a full on discussion about said guys. We might talk a little bit about Christian Wood, who got traded. I know some of y'all out there might have wanted him. It is Pride Month, so Mixed Bag Friday will be the lead-in episode of the Pride show that is happening Monday night. Um, Gee, what time we kicking that off on Monday night?
Probably around 8 o'clock Eastern time.
Okay,
8 p.m., 8:30. We'll give you
Yeah.
around that time, around the evening time, so you all can have dinner, put your kids to bed, and get ready to celebrate Pride the MHB way with our donation drives, with our giveaways, all that good stuff.
You guys did fantastic last year, man. I'm so happy we were able to partner um, with the organizations that that we are with, and excited to get it back up this season. The
that's
prize
it.
show is always fun.
That's it. So Friday night, mixed bag. Join me, your girl Shy at Frankie G. We're gonna beat this horse a little bit more. We're
A little
also
bit,
gonna have some we're gonna have some giveaways. Jump in that chat, hit us with your questions. We're gonna have a link up.
yes.
No small amount is a small amount. Anything you got, please give, please share, please love the person next to you.
Boom. G, go ahead and get into themselves really quick. Thank you, guys.
Huge Heat fans. Subscribed to Prime they've been subscribed for 8 months. That is incredible. And Corbett 22 at for 6 months at tier 1. So we appreciate the support every day that you guys give to this. We put our hearts and souls into this, and thank you guys so much for. And every time we have a charity drive, man, you guys come through. You know
You guys
the
come
One
through.
Pulse, Pride for Youth, both sent Tiff and I letters and gave personal phone calls, as well as baskets for babies. And they said, I can't believe like the amount of money and community movement that you guys have been able to unearth, especially from a sports, fan base where I think a lot of people don't expect like sports fans to be so philanthropic. So, shout out to y'all for proving people wrong and for just being, one of the best communities out there. I know we give y'all shit for your takes all the time, but at the end of the day, when it counts, y'all show up and we love you for that.
Yep,
Appreciate that. Couldn't have said it better. Um, we're gonna get out of here, man. Thank you
that's it.
guys. Good
See you
night.
Friday.
See you Friday.